Was that for me? Should I read that?
Oh, it's all good. I'm trying to figure out how to maybe do so. No. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Test. Can you hear me? Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all very much for coming.
Hey guys!
Thank you, Governor. That was very good.
I have got something to tell
We'll
you.
give him a raise for that. Thanks, everyone, very much for coming. We got volunteers here, we got legislators here, and we got a good list of great speakers. And everyone will be short. Don't worry, except for my 30-minute speech, which you really should get excited about. But everyone will be short, and we'll be quick. And thank everyone for coming. This is an exciting day that we're going to be distributing the In God We Trust signs to folks to take back to your several counties and to have them posted in the main building of every school in the common area. And doesn't have to be just that. Teachers can put them up and so on. So it's been a lot of work getting here, and I'm going to recognize some people really quick before the governor gets up here, and then we'll have the governor and President Smith and some other dignitaries. A couple of folks flew all the way in for this event. So I want to thank, first of all, Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile paid for for the whole state, for every poster in the state. Everyone we're handing out, Patriot Mobile put $10,000, I think, down, and that's the whole state that they paid for. So thank them. So this event took more work and organization than you can imagine. And First Liberty Institute loaned us Andrea Justice, who just has been fantastic. How many of you all have talked to Andrea Justice through these last, 5, 6 months? Andrea, where are you? Raise your hand back there. There she is, Andrea. Let's give Andrea a big hand. And Tony Rose, who couldn't come. Tony was fantastic also. And then American History and Heritage Foundation printed them all and gave them to us for free. Patriot Mobile bought it from that. Jason Rapert, former 12-year senator from Arkansas. He'll be speaking here in a minute. Raise your hand, Jason, and thank him. Let's give him a hand also for that. And then also Patriot Academy, which is Rick Green. Does anyone know Wall Builders, Rick Green? Yeah, you my people. Yeah. Okay, and then I just want to thank all the volunteers that came up and made the drive today, and all the legislators who said, yeah, I'll take some back to my district. Thank you so very much. And so this is an exciting day for me, and I know this for everybody to be a great day for the state of West Virginia, when we'll have the U.S. motto, In God We Trust, up in every school, and we'll have the word God in every school. So, all right, so the governor graciously agreed to come by. By the way, when we announced this, I forget what you call it, but we went to a school, I don't know, where was it, in Harrison County? somewhere, I can't remember, but a great little school where we announced the In God We Trust, and the governor had a little ceremony there. My wife and daughter were there, and some other folks, and he gave a great little speech, and he believes in religious liberty. Our governor believes in religious liberty. And if you believe in religious liberty, you will believe in liberty in general, because liberty is founded on God. So, Governor, come on up and speak to the crowd first, please.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Senator, and it's wonderful to be with all of you today. I see a number of familiar faces and legislators who have really made education reform a top priority in West Virginia and understand the importance of basic civics and ensuring that we're recognizing our God in the schools. I think that's critically important. I think we're all here today to highlight our nation's founding and also how our nation became so great over a long period of time and the values that permeated our country for the last couple hundred years. Our faith in God propelled America through some difficult times, through over 250 years of success. And we're not going to stop now. We know that to continue to make progress, we have to keep teaching our kids about the founding principles in our country. And you saw that in a couple of the bills that happened, and I was pleased to be up in Weirton a little bit earlier this year, back in June. We're talking about the importance of civics and getting back the critical nature of Western civilization. Well, we have to make sure we're also continually teaching people about founding principles. And a true and an accurate retelling of the civics for our country makes it clear that our kids need to be engaged, and it allows them to become more knowledgeable about how we got to be the country we became. History is a cornerstone of the American experiment. And unfortunately, over the last few decades, we've seen that experiment under great attack. In West Virginia, we know we want to teach our kids about the history of America, the ideals, the cornerstone principles, the values, the beliefs that led to the greatest country in the history of the earth. I believe we need to get back to those principles if we're going to rise, and we must rise. I'm very proud that I've been able to work with a number of the legislators here on a wide array of legislative matters, but very importantly, improving our education system. In fact, you saw a number of key bills this past session, which actually were focusing on what was happening within the schools in terms of the behavior of the kids and getting better control of the classroom. We talked about that in terms of the discipline for the teachers. We saw that in the cell phone provisions. All the data coming out on cell phones right now is very reassuring, and that's why we announced it at the State of the State. Every different way we can make improvement for our kids, we're going to do. But we also have to make sure we're sticking to the basics, and that's part of the reason we're here today. Senate Bill 280 requires public schools and institutes of higher education to display the U.S. motto, "In God We Trust." And our students here are going to learn that that's an important fabric of our history. We're not going to run away from it. And I think all of West Virginia supports that effort. So I want to thank the legislature for focusing on this. It's seemingly a small gesture, but I think it matters. It matters because we have to consistently remind people how we got here in order to continue to aspire to be the best country on the face of the earth. My name is Patrick Morrisey. I'm your governor. I'm proud to support religious liberty and religious freedom. I know that when we talk about "In God We Trust," we know that that gets upheld in the courts. We know that other religious freedom provisions will get upheld in the courts. We're not going to be an outlier. Not going to be one of 5 states that does things. Religious freedom must and will be respected in West Virginia. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, that was excellent. So we're blessed also in the Senate, anyway, to have a leader, our president, who believes in God. I know the House does too. I don't see the speaker here. I don't know if he's here, but he's a good man too, believes in God also. But we have on our side a president who unabashedly talks about God in his speeches and so on. And I asked him to speak, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do it." So, President Smith, Mr. President, come on up and say a few words for us, please.
Thank you, Mike, for the kind words, and thank you for let me say a few words. First, I'll start off. This is a long time coming because Senator Azinger has worked on this for several years. We've never been able to get it to run. We got it through the whole process this year, and I want to thank Mike for all of his hard work and dedication and bulldogging this. Those of you that know Senator Azinger know his faith in Christ and in God, and that's something you don't see sometimes in not only politics but in the world we live in today. And this is just a first step. I'm a firm believer that our society started going downhill when we took God out of our schools, and I think we've got the statistics to show that how our school systems has went downhill since we took God out there. And, you know, I'm a testament. If it wouldn't be for God, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you today. And, you know, and I thank God every day for the opportunity to be Senate President and be working in this beautiful building and to be with the colleagues. You know, we've got, as you look around, you see a lot of good, godly delegates and senators that has been elected by the people to serve. And it's a pleasure to serve with each and every one of them and be the leader of the Senate with a godly caucus. And I'm just, I'm blessed way beyond what I deserve. You know, God has gave me everything in my life, and he's brought me through a lot of trials and tributes. And I'll give God the glory for everything. And this is just something else we can give God the glory. And Mike, I appreciate all your hard work on this, and look forward to continuing the fight in other areas of that we need to fight in. And appreciate everyone that's come out here today. God bless you for being here. You know, God bless West Virginia, and God bless the United States of America. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Very good. Before I forget, I did want to recognize Superintendent Blatt. Raise your hand. Thank you for coming in. What other superintendents do we have? Raise your hand if you're a superintendent that made the trip. And raise your hand if you're a super legislator who just made the trip up here. And a lot of legislators out here, and I appreciate them coming. I'm honored to serve with a lot of legislators who are way better than I am. I promise you that. So next, this gentleman coming up, I just spoke about for a minute ago. He flies all over the country, but he flew, I think, from Arkansas, and he's a former state senator, and he's a big league guy. He's a kind of the Tiger Woods of state senators. Passed some of the biggest bills in the country, the Heartbeat Bill, the Ten Commandments Bill. On the Arkansas Capitol campus, Senator, is a big, I don't know how many pounds, 10 Commandments that you brought. He's also the founder of National Association of Christian Lawmakers, of which I'm a charter member, and he's a good man, and in many, many ways, I admire him. He's a great man. Come on up, Jason Rayford.
Well, it's great to be here in the great state of West Virginia, and I want to ask you to do something. A lot of Senator Azinger and these sponsors did a lot of hard work to pass this. Would you just give them a round of applause for all the work that they did? don't want to take too much time, but I just want to applaud the great state of West Virginia. And Governor Morrisey, I really applaud you, sir, for standing up and saying the words that you did here at this podium this morning. We need more governors that are willing to stand up for religious liberty. I'm going to try to be quick, but I just want to say how proud I am of the work that you've done. So I did serve in the Arkansas Senate, but one of the things that I'm doing now that I focus on is I get the honor of leading the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, local, state, federal elected officials who realize what the Bible says. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, right? That's what it says. And they've come together and they've seen what's been going on in our schools around the country. We just had this horrible situation in Minnesota the other day, and they're touched and they say, we need to resurrect those founding principles that our founding fathers gave to us. Just like today with this national motto, "In God We Trust," the founding fathers could have said anything that they wanted to say in the Declaration of Independence, but they started with a very powerful line that says, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, right? He gave us that. He started with that. In fact, if you ever think about it, they mentioned God 4 times in that document. They called him the Creator. They called him nature's God, the supreme judge of the world, and they ended with divine providence. And I'm proud of what you're doing here. The NACL endorsed this legislation as a model law a few years ago. And I happen to be part of the American History and Heritage Foundation too. We've done over 53,000 of these framed national mottos in states around the country. And we believe what you're doing is not a small thing. When those students sit in those classrooms and they look around, they know that what the teacher has on the wall is important. What's on the wall of the school is important. And now all over the state of West Virginia, because of the work that you've done, they're going to see that in God we do trust. God bless you. God bless West Virginia. Thanks for having me.
All right, hang tight with me. We just got 2 or 3 folks that are all going to speak quickly, but I did want you all to hear from them. And Andrea Justice, where'd you go, Andrea? Andrea is from First Liberty Institute. They are a group of attorneys. Kelly Shackelford started them, and they just go around the country defending religious freedom. I don't know if you may have heard of the parking space gal who just got sued at a high school for putting a verse on her parking space, and you all won that. First Liberty won that one. So First Liberty lent Andrea to us for this project, and we're doing this for months. I've just been on phone calls. Andrea Justice has been doing the work, and she's done a great job. Look at the great crowd, and so many folks came out, and I appreciate you all so much. Andrea, though, I just wanted her to address you folks and just say a few words.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me in your beautiful state. I can tell you the weather this morning was quite refreshing coming from Central Texas, where it's still sweltering hot. So I might stay a while. I want to start. Our friends at Patriot Mobile, as he mentioned, donated all these displays, and they were not able to be here today, but they sent something. And so I'm just going to read a statement from Patriot Mobile. They said, I'd like to thank Patriot Mobile for the commitment to the In God We Trust project. They have donated thousands of posters to schools in multiple states, including West Virginia. And I'm personally thankful that they're my cell phone provider, and they are, and it's a great cell phone service because they contribute a portion of every bill to organizations and causes that fight for faith, family, and freedom. So we do thank Patriot Mobile so much for everything they've done here in West Virginia. They've also been a big part of the bills that got passed in Texas and Arkansas this past session that allowed 10 Commandments displays in every single classroom in those schools. So they have been a great part of helping to fund that, and we have hundreds of thousands of displays up in Texas and Arkansas right now. And we'd love to see that happen in West Virginia as well in the next session. So I challenge the legislature here to pass a 10 Commandments bill. First Liberty can help with best practice language there, as I know Jason can from NACL. We'd love to see the 10 Commandments displayed in every classroom in West Virginia. And I also challenge you legislators to get one out on the state lawn, on the Capitol lawn. Let's get a granite monument here in West Virginia as well. My role with First Liberty is to run an initiative called Restoring Faith in America. And what we are trying to do is make sure every citizen of this great nation understands what their rights are from a religious liberty perspective after some of our Supreme Court wins, where we really overturned some really bad precedent called the Lemon Test. Y'all can look that up if you don't know it already, but you've heard of our Coach Kennedy. That was a huge win for Coach Kennedy, and religious expressions of faith by teachers and students and other people in the public sphere. And so we want to make sure that every citizen of this nation knows their rights, and we provide real actionable ways for you to live out your rights in the public square. So we've been partnering with great organizations like Patriot Academy and Wall Builders and others to get that education out there. So if you guys have any questions, please come to rfia.org and we will get you all the information you need. We want you guys living out your faith in the public square, and we're here to help with it. So thank you guys so much. We've got plenty of more displays, so if anybody wants to take an In God We Trust display home with them, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
I was having fun until she brought up a whole bunch more work we have to do. Everything was good. We were doing good. Andrea is a machine. She's done such a great job. Two more speakers who they won't take long, but I wanted these two guys to get up and speak. In the legislature, it's a very rare thing. And by the way, you folks that I am going to point out some others very quickly after this, so don't leave if I said I'm going to point you out for helping in other areas. But it's a very, very rare thing in the legislature to meet another legislator who cares about your bill as much as you do. I've never done that for someone else's bill, and I don't plan to. I do not want to ever do that. But Rick Hillenbrand took the In God We Trust bill on the House side, and he cared for it like it was his own. And I think for all 3 years, at least 2 of the 3 years, Delegate Hillenbrand was there. I just wanted him to say just a few words. Come on up, Delegate. Let's give him a big hand.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here. I first met Senator Azinger during my first year in the legislature, and over a coffee at the McDonald's, we came to understand one another and what we each stand for. Those who know me know that I've been involved in scouting for over 50 years. The scouts in the room will remember the 12th point of the Scout Law. The Scout is reverent, and the Scout Oath, to do my duty to God and my country. Through scouting, I was introduced to many faiths: Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, and others. While scouting never did tell me how to worship or which faith to follow, what it did was instill into me the importance of God in our lives and in all we do. The very fact that I stand here today is proof enough for me that God exists. For the past few years, I followed Senator Azinger's lead in introducing companion House legislation to display our national motto, "In God We Trust," in our schools. And today we celebrate his persistence and his success in reminding everyone who enters those schools that in the United States, and specifically in West Virginia, we do indeed trust in God. So once again, thank you to everybody that's participated in this, but particularly for Senator Azinger and his leadership.
Thank you. No way to explain how valuable a guy like that is. All right, lastly, Pastor Bo Burgess. Where are you, Pastor Bo? So I wanted to get Pastor Burgess in just because he's a local pastor, not too far away, and he walks these halls praying for bills. and he singles out some bills that he watches and prays for specifically. And he was checking alt session. How's In God We Trust doing? And it wasn't just our bill, others also, but that means a lot to you when you're running the bill and you're afraid it's not going to make it again for the third time. And Pastor Bo was praying, so he's a good man, and I appreciate him more than I can say. And I wanted him to just come up and say just a few words to the group. Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate it.
I'd like to start by just saying a great big thank you and all glory and all praise to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Let's give Jesus Christ a big round of applause today. Can we do that? I also want to say thank you to Senator Azinger for his vision and heart and drive behind this bill. Also to my senator, Senator Amy Grady, who ran this out of the Education Committee. And it's just a blessing and an encouragement as a pastor to see biblical values being fought for and defended. And so I want to say thank you to all the legislators, the House, the Senate, and the governor who signed this bill into law. Let's give all of them a big round of applause. Can we do that? As Senator Azinger mentioned, we run a little capital ministry called West Virginia Baptist for Biblical Values. We come down here once a week during the session. We share the gospel. We pray with our legislators, and we try to keep track of the good and the bad coming out of Charleston. And we try to keep God's people of faith around the state, with all of this current information and how they can be involved. And so go to West Virginia Baptist for biblicalvalues.com to learn more. And then Senator Azinger wanted me to say one word about an exciting event that's coming up in January 22nd, 2026. It's Day of the Bible at the West Virginia Capitol. And we have an original 1782 Robert Aitken Bible, the first ever Bible printed in the United States, the only Bible ever recommended by Congress to the American people. It'll be here on the Capitol grounds January the 22nd. We've got replicas that we're going to present to all of our legislators. It's going to be a great day, and so we hope that you come and join us. Again, Senator Azinger, thank you so much. God bless America. God bless the great state of West Virginia.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate your patience. There was just a few other folks that were really crucial. Just from the very beginning, before I sent the bill down, and I got a call or a note or something from Education Chairman Amy Grady, and she said, "Hey, I'm running your bill." Next year, she said, "Hey, I'm running your bill." Next year, she said, "Hey, I'm running your bill." If you know Amy, she's like always up, right, Amy Grady? And she just never quit, and she ran it even without me asking. I didn't even know it's going to be on the agenda, and she runs good bills like that are very important. Thank you, Senator Grady, for that. Also, is Delegate Ellington here? I want to thank Joe Ellington. He did the same thing in the House. He did a great job, and I appreciate him so much running it in the House. Where's Delegate McGeehan? Did he leave? Okay, so Patrick McGeehan, he was here, but he was the majority leader, and he came in right at the end when things were looking a little cloudy, and he made some big moves over in the House that just, in my opinion, were crucial and maybe even essential. So Pat McGeehan, and then Jeff Campbell. I just want to say a word about Delegate Campbell. Before this bill even passed, he loved it so much, he made his own and made his own design of In God We Trust for his classroom and put the American flag and the West Virginia flag down at the bottom. But he couldn't make it. Some of the House folks couldn't make it, but I appreciate him very much. And Chairman Akers also, and Speaker, and anyway, just everybody that co-sponsored, God bless you, everyone that voted for it, and that's it. We are going to take questions from the press. I don't know if the press has questions. Governor, you want to come on up? And if you do have questions. Anyone from the press have question, comment?
Yeah, Steve Adams on the newspapers. Now that these signs are going to go in schools, is there going to be work? I know we've seen reading numbers start to go up at the state back to pre-COVID levels. What are we going to do to ensure that students going into schools certainly know how to read the sign and also understand the history of the motto, because this has been in place officially since, 1950s or so. So how are we going to make sure the kids read it and also understand the history?
Going to? I will start with this. I'm going to start by, first of all, complimenting the legislature. Several years ago, there was a lot of focus on third graders. Remember that? The Third Grade Success Act. You're starting to see some changes as a result of that. When I think about educational attainment, I look at third grade reading, I look at seventh grade math, I look at the basics, and we must drive those numbers through the roof. And so there are a lot of different ways you can do it. Obviously, the legislature has spent a lot of time in recent years doing very positive things. I think we can continue to go on, whether we're talking about additional emphasis on phonics. I've had discussions with a lot of other governors about that, whether we're talking about other ways through the support structure, what they did in Third Grade Success Act, to get the focused learning on the kids you need. We're also ensuring that West Virginia is improving the environment to teach in. I thought what the legislature did this year didn't get very much attention, enough attention. You have to have an environment for learning in order to facilitate teaching kids. And there were so many good bills that did that. So I would expect in this legislative session, you're going to see continued focus from a number of courts. The governor working with the legislature on another package of policies to continually pressure to get the numbers up. Because quite frankly, if we're ranked in the 40s and something, that's inadequate, and we have to make sure there are changes. I would note, though, that Third Grade Success Act and some of the other pieces out there, some of them are beginning to make some changes. So you don't want to make change if there's going to be long-term improvement. So I'm eager to have those discussions with the legislature before the next session, because education always has to be a very high priority.
Are you?
Yeah, Mr. President. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning. Can you repeat?
I wanted to ask about the heat program. I know the state has.
Sure, yeah.
Last week. And in that proposal, some government changes by the Trump administration, about 40,000 homeowners are no longer classified as C as the heat money. So I just wanted to ask, what do you sort of say was
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you asked the question, because this is a misnomer in terms of how it's being described. If you're getting commercialized system or you already have access, then that means that the feds have determined that you shouldn't be on the list. So we don't get to write all the rules in West Virginia, but what we're trying to do is, if there's an open location, and there are 74,000 locations that we're covering, those were the open locations. Following the federal rules, we tried to maximize the numbers that we could do directly through the BEAD program. We've done that, and it's an exciting economic opportunity, and it's going to help facilitate connecting West Virginia to the 21st century. So we're doing everything we can under our power to expand. So some of the articles that said that were just flat wrong. Let me point that out. Number two, one of the exciting things about this is that we're supplementing some of the BEAD resources through some of the ARPA money that the administration had in the past to connect thousands of additional people. And there are certain areas, I think, if I recall right, it was an additional $25 to $33 million. Don't quote me on the exact, but we had announced that about 2 months ago. So you have that. And then third, while the initial application was higher than where it is now, the savings that were generated, we think could be very advantageous for other investments that benefit the West Virginia economy and her people. For example, the Trump administration has yet to decide how it's going to be handling items such as wireless services, because there could be an opportunity to further lift that up. we're eager to work with the Trump administration to maximize all of the incredible opportunities for West Virginia. And I want to point out to everyone, this is an amazing economic development project, because when you think about infrastructure, you don't only think about roads and bridges, you think about being connected to the internet. This is going to help do that, and it's going to fulfill the promise that was made, and I'm really excited about that. And there's very likely more goodness in front of us as the Trump administration issues a new set of guidelines with respect to the non-broadband deployment. So we're excited about that, a lot of great opportunities. And what I could say is we're trying to maximize the number of locations that we're serving. Other questions?
Dr. Slade, Mountain State Spotlight. Governor, quick question about the sale of the state-run nursing facilities.
Sure.
What are you doing to ensure that the buyers either maintain or improve the current nursing staffing levels of these facilities?
Well, one thing I can tell you is that in the discussions we had with the facilities, we put a top emphasis on quality. And I think you see that, and you're beginning to learn more about the buyer of those facilities. But we know the importance of maintaining a lot of the existing personnel. So obviously, they have indicated they plan to keep, I think the word was substantially all of the personnel. That's going to help. We know that they're working to advance their quality metrics, to continually work to improve the conditions within the healthcare facilities. As you also know, there have been some real struggles on the part of the state for maintaining quality for those facilities into the past. Some may recall when I was Attorney General, there was a case about scalding water through one of the facilities that I pursued. I think this is going to mean significant increases in terms of the quality for patients, and I think people should look at that scalding water case as a good example of what we don't want to happen in the future. So I'm encouraged by the decision to invest in new facilities. I think that's going to help. I'm encouraged by the substantially all employees who will stay in place, but through the guidance of a firm that does this for a living instead of a state that only has these 4 long-term care facilities. I think you're going to get the benefit of having a company that does this for a living as opposed to having a government that really shouldn't have been in the business in the first place. So thank you for your question.
I'm going to dismiss folks and let them tell their.
You're what?
We got caucus and stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna dismiss everyone, let them have access to you.
Okay, whatever you want to do. Okay. Well, no, just give. I think what he's saying is he wants us to take 2 more questions. So, ma'am? So we continue to have very good conversations with the legislature. As folks know, we've always said that we want to be able to collaborate with the legislature to get to a good place. I'm very encouraged by the discussions we're having, and I'm still very hopeful we're going to be able to get something done. Look, there's never an absolute. We said we want to do it if we have the collaboration. We're getting good collaboration, and I'm excited about that. And I know that we're going to have change. I want to be very clear that we're going to help save this program and protect the hardworking people that rely on PIA. And we're not going to let politics get in the way of that. If you're an existing beneficiary, my goodness, we need to make sure we continue to provide that good, strong coverage. So we're going to continue to work with the legislature to make that happen. And at the right point, whether it's in upcoming weeks or months ahead, we're going to press for solutions. So we have some significant challenges as a state. I'm wildly optimistic about the budget and the future of our state if we address the structural challenges in front of us. And we are going to do that. I want to commend the legislature for all the work they did this year to deliver a budget package that largely replicated what we had submitted. It was terrific, good collaboration with the House and Senate. But now next year, I think it's not a debatable point. We have a lot of increases in baseline, whether you're talking PIA, whether you're talking about Hope Scholarship, whether you're talking about Medicaid, whether you're talking about some of the revenue impacts from the big, beautiful bill. We know that there will be changes, and I know the legislature wants to work collaboratively with me, and I think I'm excited about those prospects, and PI is certainly one of the pieces on the mix. Thank you. Any other questions that folks have? Ma'am?
When can we expect to see these signs inside our classrooms?
Do you want to take that one? I think he answered that.
The bill went into effect on July 11th, and some classrooms already have them up. Some counties made their own. They're even showing up in boards of education. So you'll see folks will take them home. They're being distributed right there at the table. Andrea's. A lot of these folks drove a long way to take some back to their counties. A lot of legislators are taking them back to their counties. And the ones that aren't represented here, First Liberties and Patriot Mobile are going to pay to have them shipped. So we'll ship. So it'll all be done after this.
Any other questions from the media? Never let it be said we haven't given out adequate opportunity for the media to ask questions, right? I want to thank everyone for being here, especially all the wonderful legislators we're working with and the people that came in from afar to support this. In God we trust. There's a reason why it's America's motto, and we're really excited about this development in West Virginia. Thank you, and God bless.